Hey everybody, another video for the channel. On this video, we're gonna go over how to change the format in which dates, published dates, live dates, start date, end date show on the search results. On the search results, on the actual detail page of the post and all that. But I'll just be focusing on the search results because it's the same thing for the detail page. So right now it just shows you, for example, here 10, 24, 2025. Okay, depending on which country you're in, this sounds weird, as in there's 24 months now on the year. If the US, specifically in the US, then it's month, day, year. But maybe you want to change that so it's clear what the hell kind of date that is. Okay, so you want to change that format to something more intuitive, I would say, for everybody. So I put this here because I'm lazy. I don't want to share the whole screen, but I want you guys to actually be able to see the text. I put this instructions that I always give my developers and any other developer. Okay, so they know um, how to do this quickly. Okay, you can copy this, send it over. I can't paste it on the description on YouTube because it doesn't allow me, but at least you have a screen grab here of what they are. So let's say that we have a format like this. Okay, if we want that typical format for some date that you have, you would use this. If you want to modify that format so it looks like this, then you would be doing this thing here. We're gonna do it right now, so you understand what I'm talking about. If we want this format, you would use this here. If you want that format, you would use this here, and so on and so forth. Okay. There's a custom one that my team does, which actually offers you more flexibility, and I'll go over that in a second. But I want you to have like the notes here. So when we see a format like this, it means that on this page in the code, most likely on your BD site, you're using this one because they ended up creating this one. If you see something like this, then it means that at that point in the code, you're using this one, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm just showing you this five so you can change from one to the other one if you want to. Okay, so right now somebody comes in and they're like, I don't like this. I want something that's more appealing, looks nice to the eye, it's understandable depending on which country you're in, so on and so forth. You want to change that, okay? So you actually go to the features, so you go to my content, edit posts, you edit the feature. In this case, is the article. How do I know it's the article? Because it literally says it there. Um, and then you go to the search results. Why? Because we are on the search results for articles. That's why we're going there. You click on a button there to show the code, which is all of this. And then we look for that posted by this date kind of thing. Okay. Typically it's in the beginning. You can actually see it here. I know for a fact it's post live date because it's an article on events and stuff like that. It will be start date, for example. So here we want to change this, and as you can see, it's transform date, some variable. We don't know what variable, QB, which is exactly what I just said here. Transform date, some variable, something. Something is in here. We don't know the name of the variable, and then QB. Okay. So here, for example, in the examples that I give my developers, group date updated. In the example that we're seeing here is post live date. So what we want is to change, for example, here's QB. We want to change it to QB time. Okay. So you can actually see the change right there. And right now we have this, okay? But since I changed it to QB time, now it says the date and the time. But no, I don't want that. I want this one, Sunday, blah 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 blah. Then we just grab date and we just put it there. That's it. That's all. For that variable, of course, assuming we're using transform date function. So we refresh here and we get this one. Posted Friday, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you want mark it so it looks much better and you want to like make it more bold or something. I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to do with it. Let's enhance it so it looks more obvious. The date. Come here, refresh. Now it's like bold there. You can actually see that. Maybe you don't want this here. Maybe you don't. For now, these are the formats that you have, and you can actually just select that one. Just date, for example. Change it to date. There's another one that was daytime too, by the way. There's, yeah. So here's the other one, just shows you this format. These are like the shortcuts, okay? So here, there's this one that's more friendly. Friday, October 24th. Nobody, it doesn't matter in which country you're in, you'll understand that, okay? You're like, ah, okay, yeah, okay, so on Friday, the 24th of October. Yeah. But for specific cases, that's why I'm showing you this last one. For specific cases where you actually want to control the exact format and you don't want to rely on these ones here. For example, I had a case where they actually wanted October 26th with a sorrow in there. You would need something like this. You're like, holy mother of, you don't worry about the whole monster. What you want is to only change this here, which is the variable that's changing, and then the format of this would be this part. And I'm still not getting it. Yeah, because this part is more of a developer kind of thing. I will be putting this link for the PHP format for everybody on the YouTube channel because that's allowed. So it allows me to put that there. So you can see all the letters. So let's go back here. So you can see like I used F, capital F, and the capital F here, it's the full textual representation of a month. That's why if I use that F, you actually get this here, which actually October it would be. And then you got the J and the S. If you look for the J, you'll see that that letter J, there it is, day of the month without the leading zero. And when we look for the S, is the English ordinal suffix that we get, first, second, third, so on and so forth. Okay? And basically, you're just formatting it the way that you want to. We can do a short textual representation of the month, which will be M, and I'll show you in a second. Let's just copy this monster. And let's put it here. Let's put it here. Well, you know what? I'm not just going to put it here. I'm going to do a break here. And then you guys can actually see the whole thing here. We're going to copy this variable. Just put it here. And then you can see both, in theory, both at the same time. Let's give it a second. Okay. So there you have the transform one there. And you have the October 24th, 2025. And it does this, it does that. If I don't want to put October as a full word, as we saw in the documentation, because it says here, capital M, it's a short textual representation of the month. Okay, yeah, I like that one because for some reason. We just change that to an M. We come here, refresh, and now you're going to get October 24th. Pa, 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 pa. Okay? So you have that way of doing it. It's the same way that you would be doing it for other features. So right now we're touching articles, which is a single post kind of type. So like events, blogs, coupons, and so on and so forth. For multi-posts, like the photo album, for example, we will use a different variable. So here I'm in the photo album feature on the search results. And then here we'll look for that format, that date. And again, you're just looking for something like this, transform date. You know that I can change this to this immediately. And now you're going to see that instead of looking like this on the photo album, they're going to look like that. There you go. Okay. And you can also apply the same monster here. Just copy this here. That's more for developers than actual users. We can change this whole thing. It's called p date. I'm not going to delete that variable. I'm just going to copy this, cut that baby over, send it over here. Now we can delete this. Just double check everything there. It looks nice and it looks neat. If I refresh and I go to this, now we're gonna see that the 24th has the TH in it, 24th. And then you can make it bold and all that. But again, let's go coming back here. You can see this thing. All the normal rules, if you want to play around this ones, and if you want more freedom, it turns into a little bit more technical, but the only thing that you got to remember is this here. Okay? So, yeah, with that in mind, now you know how to set your own little dates here so they look more professional or more clear, let's put it like that, for other countries. Same thing here. So I hope the video helps. Big hugs to everybody and think positive as always. Bye.